Hi guys, nice to meet you.
Nice to
Nice to
meet you.
meet you.
Well, first, congratulations for the movie. I love it. And before talking about Hoopers, I like to know when did you know that you want to be part of animation?
I didn't really realize I wanted to go into animation until I graduated or got close to graduating from my first degree, which was in illustration. I thought that I was going to school to just draw, like do drawings for newspapers. Glad I didn't do that. So I pivoted in my last year and then after I graduated, I went to animation school for 2 years. And I think a lot of it was inspired by a lot of stuff that was happening at Cartoon Network at the time, which was kind of fortuitous because later on I ended up working there. And there was a lot of really great shows that were happening at the time, and it really inspired me to get into that industry. And obviously, I grew up loving animation as a kid. I just never put together that was a job until then. So I would say that was the moment when I turned to animation.
I did not start out in art school, but I always wanted to be involved with film. And I was always a big fan of Disney, and I watched it on television and watched movies. And it wasn't until I went to grad school in documentary filmmaking and I got a job working at Industrial Light and Magic on Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And it was an amazing job, and I got to work with animators, and I fell in love. And I thought, this is the world I want to work in, and I don't regret it. I was very lucky to end up at Pixar in 1995 when Toy Story was just being released. And once you're at Pixar, you can't go anywhere else. It's too good.
And here we are. Tell me something, how difficult is today to imagine project movies for kids with all the offer that they have?
Yeah, that's the big question. I think it's really hard to really stand out. It's really hard to know what it is that people want today. All I can do is just react to what interests me and what I'm excited about. At least that's my process. And if I can build the right team, and if I'm laughing, and if my team is laughing, and we're just having a good time making it, that's just the way that this movie got made. Obviously, we audience tested it, and I think we got enough approval that we were going to be okay. But it's really impossible to like second guess, if this is going to pop through or not. You just don't know. It's impossible to guess. So just have to use our instincts and trust that we have something to give to the world.
And of course, it's a very challenging time to release an original film. Pixar has not given up on that. And, audiences go to what they know. We're very lucky coming from Pixar. That gives us something of a platform. But I think Pixar also needs to deliver something that's new and fresh. And Daniel absolutely has that new, fresh voice. I feel it's a Pixar film. You laugh, you cry, you get the things you want from a Pixar film, but the flavor is different. I think the flavor does feel fresh and new. And I think that's the key, is to find a storyteller who has that sensibility and that punches through.
Of course, the film has several topics like friendship, love, but something that I love was the respect for the old man in the movie. And I like to know, Daniel, is something that you want to put in the movie.
Thank you so much for mentioning that. Nobody has ever really pointed that out, but it was a very intentional thing from our team, I think. And one of the things we were trying to solve was we wanted people to love Mabel very early on in the movie. And we wanted people to connect with her and to understand that she has deep compassion. And I think her looking after this old man and like, talking to him and spending time with him, even though she had an agenda, but she was obviously willing to also take care of him. That to us was a very pointed thing that we wanted to say to show people of why Mabel was such a gentle and special person. And I think across the board, the movie does have a very strong relationship with many generations. There is a grandma that was very close to her. There is a scientist that's like her mentor who is also on the older side. And I think there's something that we just really loved having in this movie, that it spanned all generations and represented a lot of different ages. And that was something that was representative of, of everyone.
Mm-hmm. Again, it's about coexistence and connection, and it's against across differences, age, species. I I'm glad that you noticed that very much.
Well, I think we read in time, but I like to ask what was your favorite character of the movie?
Well, I mean, I default to King George. I mean, because he very much is a reflection of me in personality and in because he's in leadership, and I guess I am too. But I will say one character I maybe don't talk about enough is the Insect Prince. He was just the funnest character to throw in there and just have him say the most vile, terrible things. And we always had fun writing for him and giving him a little platform to just be a little nasty, little spoiled brat. So I'll pick Insect Prince.
Yeah, I go between Grandma Tanaka and Diane the shark. I like them for different reasons. Maybe two sides of my personality as a producer. I don't know.
Thank you guys for your time and congratulations again for the
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.